Carter, do you want to go into the town manager report?
If you don't mind, we've actually been quite busy, I think, and have some good news on the horizon here for you. Obviously, as we discussed, we met finance team with tax council. DPW director and I met with Shaw and Sons to review their experiences to date in implementing the MSW, Municipal Solid Waste and Recycling Contract. And at our end, Bill reports it as being seamless and virtually problem-free. He's gotten he's gotten a few, but very, very few complaints, far fewer than he thought.
They came on the holiday on Monday, and they were there as I was leaving my house at 8:30, so it was...
The only thing that they did bring to our attention is a disparity in the tonnage they're collecting on the different routes. And it's tonnage, and especially recycling, that really wears on the truck. So they've spoken to us about some route changes, and what we've said to them is get them all prettied up. We'll make a presentation to the select board, which lets us present to the town. We'll do a flyer to everybody, and then within a reasonable period of time after that, thinking more like April 1, we could implement those changes. That'll make their life simpler, and frankly, if they like our relationship, that makes our life simpler. The DPW Facilities and Enterprise Funds teams met to review a potential realignment of administrative support functions to more effectively meet the needs of the various units contained within that team. For instance, the town manager's office bills out the water bills. I'm not at all sure why. And there's a split of responsibilities with the DPW staff, but also supporting facilities. They're physically separated. So I have put them together and said, I don't have any more money to give you. So often, a better way to deal with things is to look first and foremost at a realignment of duties. I know the first solution for many people is give me more money and I'll have more people. And that's kind of where I try to arrive at last. Let's look at the structure and the way we do things first. We had a similar meeting with finance, administration, and IT. We've talked about HR, we've talked about procurement, we've talked about, I think, not having the best grants management system. We don't have a good contract management system. So we've put them together also and asked them to have a similar overview. I met with facilities director relative to developing a plan to decommission portions of TC Passios. We can't continue to manage 100% of the building. So just as a very, very quick heads up, the idea is the southern portion, which is not at this point, I guess, scheduled for demolition in the long range. Can we pull back into that? Maybe have, facilities and parks over there, which would free up some space in the Ritter building. I spoke with the building commissioner this morning and the fire chief, and have asked him and them and the facilities director to get to get to this ASAP. It's not as simple as just cutting off a few pipes. And if we are going to do it, we want to make sure that it makes some sense going out into the future, not just for fiscal 26, but fiscal 26 and beyond, perhaps. I've had initial budget hearings with finance, land use, and public safety teams, and in striving my best to have a pile of, well, it wouldn't be a pile if it was electronic, but to have a plethora of material depending upon the entry of your incoming town manager. So we have a draft warrant working, and we have a draft, we have the concept of a budget, and we are saying, I don't know if I can say prayers, but we're certainly hopeful on a daily basis that when the cherry sheet is released tomorrow, it is supposed to be released. Well, the governor's budget has to be released tomorrow, so sometimes it takes DOR an extra day to get it all up. We're hoping that there'll be this massive infusion of money that will help meet all of our needs. So, just by way of example, your retirement went up $325,000. All your new revenues for the town side of the house will probably be on the $650,000 to $700,000. And your retirement went up roughly half of that. So please say good thoughts for the document being released tomorrow. On our project updates, the DPW projects, the roof and the garage floor, are at substantial completion without any significant contingency being needed. We await warranties, removal of some equipment. There's a lift down there for the roof, and final invoicing to be able to call them complete. So that has come along to closure nicely, I think. The town hall roof replacement and chimney restoration began last week. Tough time of year to begin. We had great weather last week. I don't think we're going to see them out there this week. We have had to temporarily reduce the occupancy for this room to 49 persons. In my time with you, we've never exceeded that. And the reason is I have to close the exit door, and at 50 people, I need 2 exits. So the building commissioner simply reduced the occupancy load for now to 49 to get us through that. Ritter Building roof and gutter repair has been awarded. We're awaiting a start date. And the library teen room should begin in early February. Teen room will be temporarily closed. Chris is working via state bid pricing to expend the Council on Aging kitchen monies, fiscal year 21. I'd love to have 1 year that's all closed up before I leave. That's why I've been pushing them for January 30 to get that part done. And this Council on Aging HVAC units. So we're trying to get all those bids in by next Friday so we can close that up. With respect to your recruitment of personnel, we have a PAC videographer pending background check right now. So it'd be nice to get that one off the list. The assistant to the sewer business manager remains open, but as I mentioned, we're looking at some possible realignment of duties to see how that might be affected. Police officer, I'm pleased to tell you that we have a candidate awaiting their physical and background check to replace the gent that went back to Winooski, Vermont. And we have 3 candidates in the wings, which, all things going well, will fill in for Officer Tossi's resignation, and then someone that we expect going to the state police. If we can keep hold of all these people and get everything through the hoops as we hope, you would have candidates sufficient through Labor Day of this year.
Excellent.
Which would be, and it works out based upon their plans also. One of the folks is at the Fitchburg State College degree program, and so they have their recruitment academy to go through. So this could, I'm being very optimistic, this could really line up very nicely. So the only new one that's kind of a little bit out there in the breeze for the moment is we do have the assistant meal site manager that has cropped up recently. I'm going to, given the hour, not restate all of the vacancies of the boards and commissions, but I do want to really hit in on 2 of them. We have 2 vacancies, my understanding, on the Finance Committee. The town manager is scheduled to release to this board on February 11, and to the Finance Committee on February 13, the budget. There is no better time to learn how government works, how it funds itself, and truthfully, no more critical time for this board to be ensured of its regular meeting quorum. So if you have an interest in, how government works in this town and why it works and why we pay for this or how we get these numbers, or you just plain want to make sure there's a budget ready for you when you get to the annual town meeting, it is a great time to be volunteering for this board. The other one that I want to pump a little bit is the Stormwater Task Force. I know it's only one vacancy, and I know that they still have work ahead of them. I don't know exactly where that's landing, but I can tell you there's a $200,000 capital item for a catch basin cleaner this year. There will be a $300,000 street sweeper coming to you at some point in the near future. There are drainage collections to rebuild on a regular basis. This is a good, heavy bite out of your annual operating budget. And the work of this